had a dream last night that I had a DeLorean time machine. I was at some exotic locale and it looked incredible. Had the hat, the jacket, the hoverboard. But then I woke up.
Hi guys, I apologize for the stutter step on the coming attractions. I was taking a label off one of the water bottles. I was using a knife to get it off cleanly. I punctured the fucking water bottle, so it went right through it and sent water all over my desk. So I do apologize for that. Welcome to Talk Wrestling here on the Jeff Meacham Network on YouTube. And yes, we are on Facebook and Twitter today. God help you all. I am, of course, Jeff Meacham. It says so in the corner there. So thank you all for tuning in today. Jam-packed show. I was going to make it longer and go at 6:30, but that didn't work out because of, as we say on Dads, shenanigans. So let me just get right on to it. Here's what's coming up on this week's episode here on Talk Wrestling. We will have my final thoughts on last night's surprisingly good Backlash pay-per-view. I'm not gonna lie, I actually enjoyed myself watching that show. We'll have recaps and reviews of the shows on A&E last night, as well as the WWE Icon show, which we'll get to later. And of course, Ask Me Anything at the bottom of the hour. So we are coming up right now on 7 o'clock. We'll go ahead and let that sink in for another 20 seconds or so. Let me go ahead and just close that so I don't cause a major calamity with a sharp, blunt object there. Hi, guys. Hope you had a nice weekend. I hope you enjoyed my watch-along of WrestleMania Backlash, and I hope that you enjoyed Aaron's recap, and I hope you enjoyed the WWE shows over the weekend, because we're going to get all up in that right now. So, Brandon, of course, RIP New Jack, indeed. I did throw that up at the top of the trailer. Again, I had one interaction with Jack, and the rep definitely preceded him, as we talked about, but, a lot of people are hurting at his loss, at his passing. So I did not want to leave it unacknowledged, because that would be shitty of me, and I don't want to be a shitty person more often than not. CJ says, yesterday I referred for Nick Patrick, but the bad part is I had to throw up the refereed for Nick Patrick, but the bad part is I had to throw up the X. Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. That's never good, even in indie wrestling, when you never know. But so yeah, lots of stuff to talk about. Let's go ahead and get into okay, hang on. Let's get comfy, kids. Be professional, Meacham. All right. So let's go on. There we go. Okay, very good. So first off, let's go ahead and talk about Backlash. I was so surprised that I actually liked this show. It was one of those where it looked like it was going to be passable on paper, right? Like it was going to be a decent broadcast, but nothing to write home about, nothing to re-up your subscription or whatever, and it came off very, very well. So good on WWE. The zombie thing, it's almost, and it's funny that, we had a few people on Twitter say, wrestling fans will give WWE a pass for anything these days. And to a certain extent, that's not untrue. But I will say this, that show, honestly, that match, that segment, we're not going to call it a match. It was a complete train wreck is what it was. But that segment was designed to promote Batista's movie. So it got the job done. Batista tweeted about it. There were zombies in the arena. Damian Priest got his win, which again they're continuing to push for Damian Priest, so I'm okay with that. And yeah, it's it got the message across about the movie, and now we have the intrigue of what will happen with the Miz coming up at the top of the next hour, because Mother I Forgot devoured by zombies, like that's crazy shit even for Miz and Morrison. So I'm curious how they're going to play it out tonight in the Thunderdome on Monday Night Raw. I'm looking forward to seeing how that comes across. And it occurs to me that the microphone is way over here. Hi. There we go. Can you hear me now? Other than that, the matches were so good. I was thoroughly impressed by everybody last night. The triple, you guys know, if you've been watching me for almost 20 years, like a lot of you have, that I can't stand triple threat matches, but both triple threat championship matches were really well laid out and executed last night. Such a good job by Rhea and Charlotte and Asuka, and by Lashley and Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman. Not a surprise on any of the retentions. I only missed one match last night, and that was the Charlotte match, and I don't know why. It's one of those things where, I don't bet against Charlotte, but it's like I should know better because she's going away and she's not going to be around full time. So Rhea was going to win. It was like, duh, Jeff. So I missed that one, but a lot of us on Team No DQ in the predictions pool had a perfect score. So I'm okay with that. I'm very happy with every match and the way they finished. Every match finished the way it was supposed to. It was a very predictable show. Yes, but I enjoyed the show. It was a good, solid B-level WWE pay-per-view, right? It wasn't a WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series, Royal Rumble, or even Money in the Bank. It was one of the B-level shows, but it was, again, Backlash has consistently been a decent follow-up to WrestleMania. That's why they call it WrestleMania Backlash this year. The first one, damn, I dare say the championship match at Backlash between Steve Austin and The Rock was better than their WrestleMania 15 match. And granted, they went on to have incredible performances at 17 and 19. Let's not kid ourselves. But their match at 15 was good. Their presentation overall, match and story at Backlash the following month, was just tremendous. Well, actually, it was the same month. They were both in April that year. I don't, because it was WrestleMania that year. No, that was the next year. Just kidding. WrestleMania was in April in 99. So just kidding. It was the following month. But again, same with WrestleMania 2000. The main event at WrestleMania 2000, I was there. It was okay. The Backlash main event between Rock and Triple H with Austin involved, and the full might of the McMahon-Helmsley regime in full effect for Triple H was just a solid main event. So Backlash 2001, great follow-up to the unbelievable happenings at WrestleMania in Houston with Austin turning heel, with him training Triple H against the Brothers of Destruction. So Backlash tends to be a good follow-up, and this year's was no exception. Very, very decent follow-up to what a lot of people call a decent, not great WrestleMania. So there you go. So there's where I stand on Backlash. All right, now I want to. This is going to be. I'm going to enjoy this stuff, and I'll tell you what. Let's talk about A&E first. I was very, very pleased with the Shawn Michaels documentary. Again, everybody pretty much knows Shawn's story at this point. Not a whole lot of new information for the hardcore crazy fans like me, right? But it was still very, very cool to see Shawn tell his story from a 2021 perspective, because the last home video biography he released was before the match with Flair at WrestleMania 24. So it's been a minute since we've had a Shawn Michaels documentary, biography documentary. So very, very good. Again, it's still so funny to see him with the redneck beard and the bald head. It's so comical to see Shawn Michaels like that. It was very. I will admit, I was surprised to see Marty. I really was, because Marty's been in the news a lot. If you're a Facebook dweller, if you guys are watching on Facebook, again, I thank you for that today. I did not expect to see Marty used for this documentary, because he's very much a loose cannon when it comes to what he's going to say or what he's going to do on the air. So he behaved himself. He was a good boy, and he came off pretty much like Marty usually comes off on things these days, right? So very cool to see him. Interesting that I could be wrong here, so forgive me if I am, but I'm pretty sure the footage of Rebecca was very much in the vein of the footage of Sean's parents, which I don't know if both of Sean's parents are alive at this point. Forgive my lack of knowledge there. But I know that the footage of them was from that, I want to say it was 2007 that documentary came out, because I know it was after the Hogan match. I'm pretty sure it was after the Vince match too, so it had to be either into the DX, the new DX era, or sometime after that, or around there. So it's been a minute since we've seen Sean's parents in the documentary. I could swear up and down that at least his father passed, if not his mother as well. But I remember reading about them passing. But it's funny that we didn't have newer footage of Rebecca, like a new interview. Like she didn't have a new interview portions. It was just recycled footage. So that was interesting. Very cool to hear more of Triple H's perspective on their falling out the night of the Nitro simulcast, with Sean completely being pilled out, and him and Hunter get into it. You don't hear a whole lot of Hunter's retort on that night. You just hear about Sean being a prick and being thrown out of the building pretty much by Vince. But Triple H stood up for himself, and that's good to hear, because I know that Triple H had a very hard time with dealing with Sean when he was so screwed up for all that time. It was very cool to see the footage of Buddy Rose and Doug Summers from the AWA against the Midnight Rockers. If you came into your fandom when I did, and you remember Playboy Buddy Rose from the Blowaway Diet, oh, just horrific. Ugh. But seeing him as a solid tag team championship wrestler with Doug Summers and Sherry was with them too, against Sean and Marty in the AWA, was really cool. We've all heard the story of the fight, the confrontation with Jimmy Jack Funk, Terry Garvin at the bar their first night, and the fallout having to go to Continental and all that. But it was, I know for a fact that they were AWA Tag Team Champions again. I think they won them in Continental, if I remember right. So they kind of glossed over that. I always love seeing the barbershop segment and Heenan's reaction. So funny. They really did glaze over Marty's descent after that incident, and the fact that the feud never took off. But you know what? Sean didn't need the feud, because he got the Intercontinental Championship, and then he found Scott Hall. So off to the races he went. I was very, very mortified, shocked to hear that Sean had said at one point, "I wish I'd taken so many pills that I would have, after WrestleMania 10, I would have just been done, because I would have been the biggest star of all. I would have been Elvis." It's like, wow. That, I tell you what, guys, if you've ever had a addict in your family, or you've ever been an addict yourself, well, once you're an addict, you're always recovering, right? So let me just clarify that. It is a nasty, nasty business, and there are a lot of times where the addicts just don't want for nothing. They just want to be done. And when somebody, the talent level and the character level now that we know of Shawn Michaels gets to that point, that's scary shit. That's like Dark Side of the Ring stuff. But I'm glad it was on. The biography and the Dark Side of the Ring. But I by the way, I have not watched Dark Side of the Ring from this last week with Nick Cage. I just haven't got around to it, to be honest with you. Thursday was very busy, and as you guys know, I've been dealing with medicinal related illness because of poor doctoring. So I'm working on that. It's in the DVR. It's in the queue on the TV behind me, or in front of me here behind you guys. So I'll get to it. the Most Wanted Treasures episode, I liked it. It was good. It was one of the better ones so far. I always like seeing Sarge. I've had a chance to meet Sarge at, I think it was Access 2011. He put me in the Cobra Clutch. So that was kind of cool. And remember, when I was first being a fan, Sarge was the Iraqi sympathizing heel that was, in league with Saddam Hussein. So I hated that son of a bitch so much as a 7 and 8 year old. But it was cool to see the stories with him and the Iron Sheik in the early 80s. And I loved that they thought they had the boot from the boot camp match. And credit to the warehouse, the cataloger, because he figured out it was WrestleMania 2 boot, which was so cool, because WrestleMania 2 and that Battle Royal specifically is very, very underappreciated from my point of view. I love that match. It's one of the better celebrity matches, and of course we're going to have a Dad's episode coming up in August about the best celebrity matches in wrestling history. That has to be on a list, because you had half the field were NFL players, and that whole night was celebrity laden. I mean, all the early WrestleManias were very celebrity laden. Let's not joke, but the WrestleMania 2 Battle Royal was very, very cool and very, very unique in that there were so many participants from the outside world in that match. So very, very cool. And the fact that the Iron Sheik's boots were covered, what I absolutely loved, and I was so. It's funny how your heart warms over shit that has nothing to do with you whatsoever, right? But he gave the trainee kid, the kid that's been on these hunts, his original I forgot the actual terminology for it. I'm sorry, Sarge. His hat and his original swagger, the only swagger stick he's ever had. Like, holy shit! If you guys were, I mean, I wasn't a fan back then, but I was alive. If you were a fan in the early 80s and the late 70s when Sarge came into the WWE, WWF back then, he had that swagger stick, his first promo with Vince, with the Grand Wizard with him, and the hat, and just like, oh my goodness. It was so cool that if we ever do get a physical Hall of Fame, or we ever do get to tour that warehouse up in Connecticut, that's got, like, the original Sergeant Slaughter gear is going to be there. That is too freaking cool for school. So that was neat to see. WWE icons. I mean, was there any doubt that Sarge, excuse me, I saw you messing about Sergeant Slaughter there, that Rob's story was going to be so well told. I was very, very fascinated to see part of the traffic stop camera actually shown. I've never seen that before. I've been friends with Rob for 16 years. I've never seen that footage. He told me all about it. If you watch Talk Wrestling back in 08, I was going to include that clip, and I forgot all about it now. But yeah, like, I remember Rob telling me, the cop was, I'm sure I'm supposed to know who you are. I mean, you're a famous person. You hear the cop ask that in the clip. It's like, oh. And you can hear the guy's, the policeman's tone, right? He's so condescending. It's like, oh, shit. So that was funny to see. Not funny, but definitely interesting. Hearing Sabu talk, which I don't recall ever hearing Sabu or being around Sabu saying more than 5 words at any given time. So to hear him actually have interview stuff, I was like, whoa. I guess the kayfabe truly is dead when it comes to Sabu, which is very, very fascinating to me. It was cool to hear him open up a little bit about the split with his ex-wife and meeting Katie, who I've said this from the minute I saw him after they became a couple. She has reinvigorated his spirit and embellished his spirit so exponentially the last, whatever it's been, 4 or 5 years now. I can't say enough good things about Katie. I'm so happy that Rob and Katie have found each other, and that Katie had the chutzpah to leave him her number. Good on her for the guts. So that was very cool. Very, very happy for Rob that he's in the Hall of Fame. I did send him a message congratulating him again on the induction and the documentary. Again, there's never been a really in-depth home video documentary about Rob, to my knowledge. They did a career retrospective when they did the One of a Kind DVD, but that was more about like the wrestling career and the matches. Like, to hear more of the backstory was, I know the backstory obviously, but to see it on a WWE presentation was very, very cool. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the whole weekend of documentaries and shows, and I am a very pleased WWE fan on this day. So there you go. Take it for what it's worth. All right. It is that time, boys and girls. Again, get those super chats in. If you're going to donate, let me know. I'll check, and then I'll read your questions. So ask Mitch anything. And again, I know the show is called Talk Wrestling, but it's Monday, and I'm in a good mood. So if you guys want to ask me something outside of wrestling, and we get the super chats going or the donations going, ask me whatever you want. Now, I will say this. JJ, my co-host on Dad's Not Always on Wrestling, wanted me to let you guys know that I'm going to announce this more tomorrow on Meech's Musings, which wasn't in the trailer, by the way. Meech's Musings was not in today's trailer because I didn't have the graphic ready. Tomorrow's show is going to be very non-wrestling. Let me just throw that out there now. I'm going to be talking about the woes of the reopening of Disneyland here in California and why it's now very likely that my family and I will not be going in December like I had originally planned. So that'll be tomorrow on Meech's Musings. But he happened upon a couple of giveaways that we're going to do on Renegade's Recap, and that'll be coming up on June 1st, which is 2 weeks from tomorrow on the Casa Studios channel and my channel here on YouTube anyway. Maybe on Facebook and Twitter. Haven't decided yet. But there will be giveaways involved. Basically, and there'll be super chat / donation centric. So again, we'll have more on that tomorrow on Meech's Musings. Again, I see the questions, guys, but I'm pouring myself out. What can I say? I need the money because the May revenue is not here because I've had to sit there and dicking with the algorithms. So please, if you guys want your questions, I'll tell you what. If you want your non-wrestling questions answered, if you want to ask a really deep personal question or whatever, that I will do a super chat donations on. But Anthony says, any thoughts on how Raw can boost up interest to the fans? We've been talking about it for years, Anthony. It really just it's a matter of opinion. And I understand there's no extra money, nor do I. That's why I have to ask for it. Anyway, so but again, the money you guys donate helps this be better, helps lighting be better, helps equipment be better. So that's why I beg and plead and moan and groan about it. I have a lot of thoughts on the way Raw and the WWE in general can get interest boosted. Honestly, last night for me went a long way of garnering my interest and like I said, I want to see what happens with The Miz tonight. It's a stupid segment. It was ridiculously funny and grossly overproduced, but you know what? I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious what happens tonight. So there you go. But the title matches were all laid out very well on both brands. So I'm curious to see where Rhea goes from here, where Lashley goes from here, where McIntyre and Strowman go from here. Monday Night Raw coming up at the top of the hour, of course, on USA Network if you're in the US, or TSN if you're in Canada, or wherever you may be watching around the world at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 Pacific. It has my attention. And see, I appreciate that, Anthony. I do. And you know what? That's very much why the goal was set to reacquire a old, very, very prized possession that I had to sell to make rent a decade ago. So hopefully by the end of this week, if the payout comes in, please God, that'll be rectified. So we'll see how that goes. Mike, again, Money in the Bank is still over a month away, so I will be definitely doing a full-blown, in-depth Money in the Bank prediction show. I'm probably going to be on the ODQ predictions shows going forward, just because I produce so many shows a week. Like, I'd rather just let Aaron do the prediction stuff and let me be talking head. I mean, that sounds lazy, because it is. I admit it. Whatever. So we'll get to Money in the Bank in, I think it's July. Pretty sure it's July this year. But we will be talking about Double or Nothing. We will be talking about NWA When Our Shadows Fall, and of course NXT Takeover in Your House and Hell in a Cell coming up not this week, but starting next week, because the next 4 Sundays after this one coming up, which is the 23rd, May 23rd on a Sunday. Not a fun holiday, not a fun anniversary. But the next 4 Sundays after that will be pay-per-view watch along. So it's going to be very busy. Hang on one second. I just got to be on somebody. I don't see the attachment, but if I'm thinking right, you're just now finding out, LOL. Yeah. My buddy Statboy, who is a former resident and employee of an Anaheim area establishment, I guess just now found out that Pujols slammed the Dodgers. Like, where you been all week, dude? Anyway. Yeah, Albert Pujols is a Dodger. Crazy. Let's see. Anthony says, soon I'll be donating some stuff. If I have it will be up for auction. I'll be listing some stuff very soon. I'll be splitting the proceeds. Please get those links to me, Anthony. I will gladly promote anything you have, especially going to children's hospitals, because my brother, God love him, spent many a night in children's hospital here in LA and OC. So please donate, or not donate. Let me know what you're listing. I'll gladly promote that here on the shows here on the WQ Network. We haven't done South by Sports for a couple weeks. Mikey's been busy with his new job, so that's why. Brandon, I appreciate it. Thank you very much for the $5 donation. I will go ahead and gladly read off your entire comment from earlier. That way I can get everything in there. Wes Craven or John Carpenter, who do you like more? I have to go with John, and that's not a slight on Wes Craven whatsoever. He created both the Freddy Krueger universe and the Scream universe, which, dude, all the respect. But John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, of course, let's not discount her contributions to the franchise. I can't reach it without causing a ruckus, but Mikey's over there. John and Deborah created Halloween and Michael Myers, so that's my all-time favorite horror franchise. So I prefer John Carpenter, but I in no way discount or discredit Wes Craven. Wes Craven was, may he rest in peace, was a psychopath. he was an evil bastard. I mean, Freddy Krueger, God, that's warped. To this day, my son's mother cannot be around. There's a Freddy mask on top of my my bookcase over there. It's not on a mask stand like Michael is. He's just kind of there. He was in a box for a long time, and when she was still living here, I happened to pull him out of the closet, and she lost her shit. So I don't mess with Freddy anymore. Freddy's a bit much. But yeah, definitely, I definitely prefer John Carpenter myself. But again, they're both tremendous. So there you go. Yeah, please do. See, I've done it before at a local wrestling indie promotion. Yeah, again, I am all about donations and helping out children's hospital charities, things like that. So please, once you have everything listed, let me know. We'll put it up on here. You can come on the show if you want to talk about yourself, Anthony. JJ in the house. JJ, if you're available for a brief cameo. I'm sure you're still over at the office, but if you're available, I remember our conversation about the giveaways on Renegades Recap coming up 2 weeks from tomorrow, but my brain is just not processing the details like I was hoping. So if you can pop in, I sent you the link over Facebook. Come on in and we'll give the details. I was gonna wait till tomorrow and meet his musings, but shit, let's do it now. Anyway, Mike with a $5 super chat. Thank you, Mike Nixon. Hope all is well. I thought the pay-per-view last night was an A. I'm loving what they're doing with Roman, but my question is, why is SmackDown better than Raw? Roman friggin' Reigns. That's the beginning, middle, and end of that sentence. Roman's presentation since SummerSlam has reinvigorated the entire SmackDown franchise. Ironically, that is The Rock's cousin that has completely reinvigorated the SmackDown franchise from my perspective. Just too cool. Paul being there, definitely helping. The women's singles division and the tag team division being on SmackDown, both very helpful. The re-push of Ziggler and Rude, the emphasis on the Mysterios and their relationship and how awesome they are. Just so many good things about Raw, SmackDown. Plus, it's only 2 hours. And again, we harp on Raw being 3 hours and the fact that it's such a pain in the ass to get through on a Monday night. But you know what? It's the truth. There is so much gaga and filler on that 3-hour broadcast. That's why I watch the Hulu broadcast on Tuesdays. Because Hulu, WWE gives you what they think is the most important and relevant information that you received last night without having the filler and the bullshit of the previous night. So that's why I choose to watch Raw on Hulu. Now, tonight I'll watch it because I ain't got shit to do anyway. So, except, keep the show going, which I'm not going past 5 o'clock today. I'm exhausted. I've been exhausted all day, still dealing with the illness. But, yeah, SmackDown is so much better than Raw on so many levels. And, again, I know they can't logistically cut that 3rd hour, but they'd be better off if they did, brother. I'll tell you that right now. I give Backlash a B+ only because of that zombie lumberjack thing. See, again, I mentioned the zombie thing earlier. It was what it was. It was designed to promote Dave Bautista's new movie. It did its job. And it has me intrigued about seeing where they go with Miz tonight now that he's been devoured by zombies, which is just so damn funny and so much a case study of the Miz, right? He starts the year with Money in the Bank privilege. He cashes in after making a deal with Lashley. He gets his ass whooped by Lashley to get the title off him. Bad Bunny and Priest beat him in a tag match. He loses the lumberjack match thanks to zombies last night. Just so funny. I'm so proud of the Miz and his awesomeness. Very happy for him. And again, Natty and Tamina winning the tag team titles on Friday was very, very cool for me. I know JJ was happy about that because that's his girl. And Tamina has been a surprise for me. I've said it for weeks now. I've been very hard on Tamina, and that's my bad. She's done very well. They're going to be on Alexa's Playground tonight, so I love Alexa Bliss. We all know this. So that's going to be a fun interaction. And, of course, MVP celebration for Lashley coming up on Monday Night Raw tonight. So there are plenty of reasons to watch Raw tonight if you're into the 3-hour commitment. I'm not usually, but I am tonight. So I'll definitely be watching that. So very, very excited to see where they go with the women's tag team champions, with Alexa, with Lashley and the 2 contenders, with Rhea and her 2 contenders, with everything. And then, of course, on SmackDown Friday, we'll see the Mysterios. We'll see Roman Reigns continue his dominance. Interesting, no Jimmy Uso directly involved in last night's championship match. You know he's going to be involved on Friday. You know it's going to happen. So looking forward to the Usos' continued beef, heat, whatever you want to call it. So it's all good stuff coming up this week, and NXT is more often than not a great show. I'm watching AEW again. Like I said, I was so happy I finally freaking got caught up on my DVR wrestling, so I am clear to go. Tonight is a fresh start. Woo woo, as we say, as they say on Long Island. Woo woo, you know it, right, Matt? But I love the presentation of Cesaro last night. He looks strong as hell. Definitely showed that he should have been in the main event a long damn time ago. And I hope this is not the end of his main event run, although they had Seth really do a number on his arm and his shoulder. So we will see where we go with the former Claudio Castagnoli on Friday. So yeah, it's all good stuff. I saw a tweet earlier, I think it was last night when I was trying to go to sleep, which I don't do very well, from Louis Dangor, the Wrestling Trivia Challenge Championship tournament winner, about there are so many possibilities for matches to actually take place this year inside Hell in a Cell. Any combination of the Usos with Roman, Seth and Cesaro, and Roman in there with them. You've got Lashley, Strowman, and McIntyre on the Raw side. So many options. And the women's Hell in a Cell. Hell, if you've got Rhea so worked up and you've got Charlotte still devolving into this evil character, Hell in a Cell is a perfect environment to blow off that feud, whether she's doing the movie or not. So there is that. There's so many options for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. I look forward to the build. We've got, until the 20th, so roughly 4 weeks. In Your House is the week before that. NWA is the week before that. And Double or Nothing from AEW is next Sunday, week from Sunday. So a lot of good stuff coming up here, as you guys saw in the trailer. Watch along to the pay-per-views. Dads is booked through the year. We're still trying to decide on the December 10th topic. If you guys want to throw out anything, I do want to make it WCW centric, because WCW December is Starrcade month. So I do want to have, my thought was either top 10 WCW World Heavyweight Champions or World Heavyweight Championship matches. So if you guys have a better idea, please, by all means, throw it out there over the next few weeks, and we'll get it read on Dads. We're going to record that fairly soon. As far as we're trying to get as much stuff canned to finish out the year. That way, JJ can focus on his work at the Spark, and I can focus on other things here rather than worrying about taping 500 shows a week. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up for the day. Okay, so JJ is here's what we're doing here for he's unable to pop in. He's still at the office, but we have 2 copies of Star Wars The Force Awakens Episode 7 on Blu-ray, DVD, Blu-ray, digital code combo packs. 1 copy will go to the highest donor during Renegade Recap coming up on June 1st. The other copy will go to the winner of a trivia question, which will be read on that show. So you have to tune in live to Renegade's Recap, and that's coming up 2 weeks from tomorrow, June 1st, on both the Constantine Studios channel and here on the Jeff Meacham Network. So whoever sends the highest donation in that day, and remember, this is a DVD, Blu-ray, digital combo pack of the first new Star Wars movie in the timeline since Return of the Jedi in overall release in over 10 years. So big giveaway here. If you don't have Disney Plus, which again I encourage you guys to do that, obviously, because I love Disney Plus. But if you want your own hard copies, like I thrive on hard copies because digitals can falter very easily. So again, Renegades Recap, June 1st, the highest donor on that day, and as well as the answer to a trivia question, which we will divulge on that episode. So thank you, JJ, for clarifying that for me. I appreciate that, and we'll go ahead and mark that as read if it'll let me freaking do it. And it will. Woohoo! It worked. So speaking of highest, when it comes to highest donor, Let's talk about Brandon's Super Chat, $5. Thank you very much, Brandon. What's your favorite modern pay-per-view? Mine is One Night Stand 2006. I mentioned highest because, of course, of RVD. That is definitely on my list for very, very personal reasons. Rob Van Dam became the world champion that night. One Night Stand 2005 also was very, 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 very monumental in history. I love both those shows. Subsequent shows, not so much. I'd say that's probably my answer. The One Night Stands, the first two, the actual ECW One Night Stands, 05 and 06. Just great, great nights. And again, I could have been at the 06 show, had to work. Shit happens, right? So anyway, thank you very much for that. I appreciate that, Brandon. Again, I'm going to wrap it up. Like I said, just wanted to get everybody out there and let you guys ask the questions. And again, tomorrow we'll have Meech's Musings. We'll talk about the good and bad of the reopening of Disneyland. There's a lot going on, and I'm very, very pleased to be able to bring everything to you. We've got Meech's Musings. We've got the Great Cherry Show coming up on Wednesday. We've got I'll be on the WQ Review. We'll be simulcasting that on this platform on Thursday, and then Friday we've got Renegade's reviews replay of JJ's review of Star Trek Generations, one of my favorite Star Trek movies ever. So, Anthony, the $2 super chat, $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Anthony. He says hashtag bring back KOTR, and I agree with JJ's agreement. Bring back King of the Ring, make it a pay-per-view, make it mean something, because the last few times they've done it on TV or they've been a network special or whatever after TV was done, it was kind of lame. And with all due respect to King Corbin and King Barrett, lame kings. Terrible. The last great King of the Ring, from my perspective, would have been William Regal had he not gotten in trouble. So the last great King of the Ring for me was King Booker. Sorry, Sheamus. Didn't buy it. All right, guys. Thank you very much. We'll see you again tomorrow for Meech's Musings. And, of course, don't forget to check out Aaron's recap of Monday Night Raw coming up at 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 Pacific, immediately after Monday Night Raw, which starts in just about 20 minutes over on USA Network, TSN, etc. I'm going to highlight that just to show you. Don't put that in the universe. Stop that. No, Anthony, that's a bad Anthony. Shame on you. All right, guys. Thank you all very much. I appreciate it. It's very awesome to have you guys along for this. God, it's so crazy that we're getting close to 14 years of Talk Wrestling. Coming up in July. Yeah. Just, I always feel so old when I talk about the length of time I've been on the air, but it is what it is. So anyway, thank you guys. Appreciate it very much. And we will see you later on this week. And of course, tonight for Aaron's recap of Monday Night Raw. Until then, good night and have a wonderful rest of your evening.